Hi, this is Ghost and welcome back, and today I've got you my next elite codices unlock, and it comes in the form of the absolutely immense Automatico. It's probably one that, like me, you won't even realise you're even angling towards, and it will just happen as you play through the game. This is one of the most used weapons in the game, and for very good reason. It is absolutely immense. Primarily for the fact that it has the highest rate of fire out of all of the primary weapons in the game, only equalled by the Frommerstop Auto, but the chances of you ever seeing a Frommerstop Auto on the battlefield are pretty limited, so this one is the king of close quarters. Although you can be outshot by a shotgun and a sniper rifle, or very lucky sniper rifle shot, this is going to be the most consistent way of racking up kills at close quarters. This thing absolutely shreds your enemies. Not a lot more needs to be said about this weapon, it really is just immense. Though that said, it is primarily just for close quarters. You don't really want to be shooting anyone beyond like 25 meters with this weapon. Its time to kill suddenly goes from being one of the best in the game to being one of the worst. It also has one of the higher sets of recoil in the game, so trying to hit anything beyond that sort of 25 meter range makes it very difficult. But within that 25 meter range, you can absolutely shred anything, as I prove here as I wipe out a horse almost instantly, although I did have a little bit of help, let's be fair. It also absolutely destroys sentry and elite classes, and two assault players working in tandem with their automaticos will manage to take down a sentry class before he even manages to get a shot fired. This weapon absolutely shreds in this game, purely because of its rate of fire being so much higher than anything else that we see in this game. If you haven't been using this weapon, I guess you've been living under a rock or just not playing Battlefield 1. If you are new to Battlefield 1, this is the weapon that you should really start with on the Assault class. As an added bonus, you also unlock all three variants by level 3 on the Assault class, which just makes it even more powerful. Now, my personal favourite out of these three variants is the Storm. I just find it the most practical, being able to aim down sights as well as being able to hip fire. The hip fire on this weapon is already really good, so it doesn't necessarily need that trench variant to just tighten it up all that much more, and having the added bonus of being able to aim down sights where being a bit more accurate with your shots is invaluable. That said, if you are very much on the front lines, which you're probably going to be with this weapon because you don't really want to be engaging anyone beyond those distances, the trench variant is very good, especially when you come up against that wonder that is the gas grenade in Battlefield 1. There are way too many of them, and fortunately, hopefully, we are going to be seeing a change to that. With the upcoming changes that we've seen in CTE and should be coming with the DLC patch, we should be seeing the gas grenades be slightly less prevalent, hopefully. They are reducing the amount of grenades we get down to 1, and with the previous change to their duration and the fact that they're going to take longer to resupply, we should hopefully see less gas grenades on the game, which will be a blessing in disguise, which might mean we might see a few less trench variants of the Automatico. That said, it's still going to be immensely powerful, being able to drop people without aiming down sights at a significant range almost instantly with the Automatico trench is almost invaluable. So whichever variant you decide to use, you're going to do well with it. It is such a good weapon. Now, also with the unlock of the elite codices and those 500 kills that just seem to breeze past with this weapon, you gain 25,000 experience points, which admittedly at the moment for me is completely pointless, as I have reached max rank in this game. The 25,000 isn't necessarily the most useful thing in the world, but they are meant to be adding 10 new max level ranks to the game, so I think I'm probably going to be needing as many 25,000 XP boosts as I can possibly get to get that in a fairly decent time. And along with this lovely influx of XP, we also get given some wonderful information about the weapons. DICE have put a lot of time into making these elite codices, and I love reading through them. It is such a nice little history lesson. I love my history, and finding out a little bit more about each of these weapons and how they came into service and where they saw things, it is awesome. Now, this weapon obviously was based upon the Villa Perosa. The Villa Perosa was one of the first SMGs to really see service in the World Wars. It was a little bit unwieldy, and because of that, the Italian military decided that yes, although it was immense having a weapon that fired at 3,000 RPM, because it didn't actually have a stock and had the sort of standard sort of handlebar triggers and the buttons on top, it was quite difficult to use as the infantry. So they asked a few companies to look into trying to make a better version of this, which would make it a little bit more usable on the battlefield. There were a couple of attempts made to this. The first one was in 1916 by one company who said they were going to split the Villa Perosa in the middle and then mount it onto a normal stock. Unfortunately, they didn't actually manage to get this done until after the First World War. So the Italian military went a different route, which was to ask an engineer called Tullio Margioni, which I'm sure I've said wrong, and his company, which they'd used to make some of the Villaparosas in the first place to have a go at it as well. He stuck with the same idea of splitting the Villaparosa in the middle and mounting it onto an existing stock. He also managed to reduce the rate of fire to a much more sensible 900 rounds per minute instead of the 1500, and kept a very similar box round magazine. And this was the one that was then employed by the Arditi towards the end of the First World War. Now, this is where a little bit of controversy comes about, whether this weapon was the first one to see service or whether it was the Germans' MP18. As it's a little bit sort of unknown and unclear, we don't really know, although they both saw service at a very similar time. Anyway guys, this is coming towards the end of the video. If you have enjoyed this, please leave me a like. If you haven't used the Automatico, I'm not sure, as I said, what you've been doing, and I definitely recommend giving it a whirl. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Goodbye for now. Bye.